Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals was chaotic, but in Game 2, the Celtics came with a different set of strategies that were absolutely fascinating. Now, in the previous game, Miles Turner had torched the Celtics coming off of screens. So in Game 2, Boston, not wanting another barbecue, decided to start with Jaylen Brown guarding him. Why? Because then it would be easy to contain him on switches. And while Indiana's head coach was busy getting caught spitting in glorious 4K, we saw the first strategy from the Celtics crash the boards from the corners on misses to create extra possessions.
White on their offensive rebound. Horford goes right at Siakam and banks it home.
Derek White is so good at this, it should be a crime.
Sidestep, Tatum has a good look, can't get to the fall. And look at the hustle from Derek White.
His ability to hustle seriously ought to be studied in a lab. And on the defensive end, he had no problem putting his body on the line to draw offensive fouls on oncoming 7-foot freight trains.
Turner kicks it out in the corner. And they're going to call an offensive foul. Turner barrels into Derek White.
Now, from the outset, we saw a couple of problems with Indiana's game plan. Number one, they couldn't pick up players in transition.
You have to make a concerted effort to get back and at least try to set your defense.
Try as they may, they just couldn't find bodies in early offense.
Pritchard knocks down the three. Just a second three-pointer, and it has Rick Carlisle calling timeout.
This problem got exacerbated by bad communication on screens.
On the drive, Al Horford. Easy bucket there for Boston.
These were just the early signs, but before that, it was J.J. Redick snitching on Tyrese for those extra steps he takes on his jumper sometimes.
Holiday on Halliburton, a step back, three-pointer, got it.
Right foot slide, that is legal. He does travel sometimes. I'm going to say it out loud. He does travel sometimes on that step back. That was not a travel.
Interestingly enough, the Celtics' plan was to guard McConnell with Luke Cornett.
McConnell has to get it off. Does not get the bounce, and Hauser tips it.
I first noticed this when I saw Pritchard motioning to Luke to pick up TJ in transition. The reason the Celtics added this wrinkle was because TJ had been shooting 21% from 3 up till this point in the playoffs. They didn't fear him from outside, and were okay with Luke sagging off to counter the difference in speed. So, to counter this, the Pacers started running a small-on-small pick and roll with TJ and Halliburton.
McConnell, foul line jumper, got it.
The goal? Put Luke in actions to exploit his slow feet.
Halliburton comes right back to get it, knocks down the shot.
TJ, on the other hand, was hell-bent on making the Celtics pay for the disrespect.
TJ McConnell knocks down the three. McConnell just 5 of 20 in the playoffs from three-point range.
And just like White, he had no problem sacrificing his body for the greater good.
Tatum goes backdoor, leans in. Offensive foul. McConnell steps in and draws the charge as Tatum picks up his first.
Now, as for Tatum, the man couldn't hit the broad side of a barn in the first quarter, going 1 for 6 from the field, and the Pacers' aggressive defense had a part to play.
Tatum goes inside, blocked by Toppin. Obi Toppin with some defense.
Now, a theme that would become prominent was Halliburton's pedestrian defense. And on this play, the Drew Holiday to Sam Hauser connection was the beneficiary.
Holiday leans in, Hauser coming through, lays it up and in.
Since the Pacers were having more problems with their transition defense than a teenager learning to drive a stick shift, the Celtics' strategy to start the second was, why not try to run them out of the gym?
They don't get back defensively. And Al Horford gets behind the defense and an easy bucket to tie it.
Meanwhile, Jaylen Brown joined Derek White on the Celtics' plan to relentlessly crash the offensive glass from the corners.
Grabs another offensive rebound. Hauser, corner three, in and out. Brown, an offensive rebound, puts it up and in.
And Celtics fans were loving the strategy. To add to the Pacers' woes, Boston then decided to amp up their ball pressure.
Neesmith, too much dribbling, lost the ball.
And the Pacers didn't help themselves either, adding to the problem by committing unforced errors of their own.
Brissett comes up with a steal.
4 minutes into the second quarter, and the Pacers hadn't scored a single basket in the period.
Pacers have not scored yet here in the second. We've played 4 minutes.
And with Jaylen Brown taking the reins.
Brown punishes from downtown. His second three-pointer. Brown's got 14 points.
The Celtics went on a 17-0 run.
Layup to Brown. Banks it in on a gorgeous feed from Holiday.
Jaylen Brown is So good at that. He's already gotten 2 of those tonight.
During this run, the Pacers' defense was like watching a group project where nobody did their homework. Everyone was just standing around hoping someone else would step up to save the day.
Tatum drives, goes inside, left-handed, puts Boston up 15, 17 straight points to start the second.
I mean, look at this atrocity.
And that's just too easy, Mike. You've got one defender on Drew Holiday and Miles Turner at the rim, and Drew just waltzes in for an easy layup. Poor transition defense.
Even TJ was on the bench looking like someone trying to cram for the final. The Pacers needed a hero, anyone, to step up. So what do you do in desperate times like these? Easy. Hope against hope that the ball just happens to fall into your max player's arms under the rim.
Brown tipped it right to Siakam. An unfortunate bounce for the Boston. Siakam, right place, right time.
And for the Celtics, the strategy was equally straightforward. Put the ball in the hands of the man you made the highest paid player in NBA history this summer.
Tatum, Holiday, back to Brown, up and in. Unselfish play from the Celtics. Timeout Pacers. The lead back up to 13.
Luckily for the Pacers, Siakam had a late surge in the second quarter.
Shot clock turned off. Siakam finds some room, goes inside and throws it down. Poor defense that time from Boston.
Slicing the deficit to just 6 points heading into halftime. The story of the third quarter was a bit sadistic. Siakam continued his unstoppable ways, displaying a flurry of footwork that would make Hakeem Olajuwon proud.
Goes at Horford. In the paint, jump shot, got it. Brown discourages him for a moment. Now Siakam turns, shoots, scores again.
Eric Spoelstra calls it the duck.
Siakam right now on fire.
He was spinning, winning, and had Celtics fans furious. In an attempt to curb Siakam's momentum, Jaylen Brown asked for the assignment to guard Siakam. And from that point on, it was clamps.
Siakam drives, Brown shuts him off, but a blocking foul. That's going to be 3 on Brown.
On offense, the Celtics' game plan turned into a full-blown Halliburton hunt. Every single action being ran was a tactical missile aimed right at poor Hallie.
White got a 3. White again gets to the rim and the finish.
The situation deteriorated to the extent that even the broadcast team had to comment on it.
Tyrese Halliburton seems to be in the action every trip. What do you call that, JJ? Is that called a pigeon?
Pigeon, poor sister, target hunting, whatever you want to talk about.
Hallie's defense had people screaming at their televisions. His existence on the floor was leading to breakdowns that ended in open corner threes for the Celtics.
Out to Brown, corner 3. It's good.
He couldn't stay in front of anyone, which meant everyone else had to scramble to help him, leading to wide open dunks as a consequence.
Brown the pass and Brissett throws it down.
The thing about poor defense is that it is contagious, and before long hell had broken loose for Indiana, with literally no one guarding Pritchard in the right corner.
Pritchard wide open, connects on a 3.
As if the Pacers' defense wasn't already in shambles, the Celtics decided to twist the knife by pulling out their 5-out offense to spread them out.
Brown drives past Turner, back up top. White gets a clean look, another 3.
Up until this point, Tatum had been a non-factor, but when you give great players open dunks, even when they're struggling, they tend to get it going after the fact.
As Tatum has the ball, goes inside and finishes.
And before you knew it, Tatum, who had been colder than an Arctic winter, was now hotter than a summer heat wave.
Tatum so far has had a quiet night. Elbow jumper, turnaround is good. Pacers trying to tie this series up. Tatum finds a spot, jumper, got it.
As the fourth quarter tipped off, Spicy P continued to cash in with his mid-range magic. But Indiana seemed to be playing a game of self-sabotage. Despite Holiday's recent display, they were flooding the ball and leaving him wide open from downtown.
Holiday left wide open, 3-pointer, puts it in.
Meanwhile, everyone's favorite gym rats on the court were chasing each other around like they were reenacting a Tom and Jerry cartoon.
Pritchard being chased by McConnell.
But the mood dipped further when TJ missed a shot, his dispirited look capturing the gloom of every Pacers fan.
Lead back up to 14. McConnell picked up that foul down the other end, comes up short.
And just when you thought it couldn't get any worse, tragedy struck. Halliburton was ruled out of the game with a left leg injury.
We've just heard Halliburton's not coming back in the game.
We're told that he's back with the training staff. They're calling it a left leg soreness. Again, he is done for the night.
With Hallie out, Siakam decided to sit, and Nembhard was left at the helm offensively.
And Shepard the offensive rebound. Nembhard goes right at White, shot is up and good.
But as the clock ticked down, Jaylen Brown delivered the coup de grace, finishing off his 40-point masterpiece.
Brown knocks it down. He's got 40.
The strategies from the Celtics completely puzzled the Pacers in Game 2. With the Celtics now leading the series 2-0, the action shifts to Indy, where the Pacers have looked unbeatable thus far. What fun tactics will we see next? Anyways, wherever you are in the world, be the GOAT of that moment. Stay GOATed.